from PRX.
Sleep With Me podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this episode today. Smart choice. Make another smart choice with Auto Quote Explorer to compare rates from multiple car insurance companies all at once. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy. All right, everybody, it's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, ZocDoc. You know, finding a doctor that you really like is kind of like finding a diamond in the rough. Searching, because you got to find somebody that's in your network. They're nearby. They take new patients. They have open time slots. But that's just the beginning, because then you want somebody that's going to listen to you, explain things to you in very clear language, follow up, and make you feel safe and cared for, right? So we all have our perfect doctor checklist because we deserve it. And that's why you got to check out ZocDoc. ZocDoc makes the whole thing easy. ZocDoc is a free app and website that helps you find and book high-quality in-network doctors so you can find someone you love. And we're talking about booking in-network appointments with more than 150,000 providers across all 50 states. Whether you're looking for dermatology, dentistry, primary care, eye care, or any one of the other 200-plus specialties offered on ZocDoc, you can easily search by specialty or symptom to build the care team that's right for you. You want to see your doctor in person? Great. And if you prefer a video visit, you could do that too. And then there's those thousands of verified patient reviews that give you a real sense of who your doctor is. Whatever it is, you can feel confident that you can book with a doctor you know you'll love. And as I've said, since I've made my move, I've been checking ZocDoc, and I'm still using it as part of my search for my care providers. So you got to check it out too. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/sleep to find and instantly book a doctor you love today. That's ZocDoc.com/sleep. ZocDoc.com/sleep. Thank you, ZocDoc, for sponsoring this message. Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for a calm and soothing journey. It'll be meandering because, oh boy, am I going to get mixed up. Not direct. No journey on Sleep With Me is direct. Hopefully your journey to dreamland, I make a better, by my indirectness, I give you a better connection to dreamland. Or to rest, or just distraction and a friend in the deep, dark night, a companion on this meandering ride. I'll be the conductor and your companion here, but I can sit all the way on the other side of the train if needed. Or just up with I'll sit up with the conductor. And you may be confused. That probably means you're in the right place, because it's time for Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. All right, everybody, it's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, Helix Sleep. And I don't know if you've taken the quiz yet at helixsleep.com/sleep, but I have my Helix at home. I love my Helix because it's fit for how I sleep and my sleep and feel preferences. But I'm looking at getting another Helix. So this summer, there's a cabin I'm going to be staying at, so I can have a bed that fits how I sleep. And maybe you should have a bed that fits your needs, right? Whoever, has your mattress ever asked you, hey, tell me more about your needs and your feel preferences. What would make you comfortable? Well, that's why you got to take this Helix quiz. The Helix Sleep Quiz matches you with the perfect mattress based on your personal preferences and sleep needs. It makes buying a mattress easy. And Helix is the most awarded mattress brand. It's tested and reviewed by experts like Forbes and Wired. There's free shipping and seamless delivery right to your door with free shipping in the U.S. They have the Happy with Helix guarantee, so you can rest easy with seamless returns and exchanges. The Happy with Helix guarantee offers a risk-free, customer-first experience designed to ensure you're completely satisfied with your new mattress. There's a 120-night sleep trial and a lifetime limited warranty. And Helix helps you sleep better. A study they ran found 82% of those involved saw an increase in their deep sleep cycle while sleeping on a Helix mattress. And oh boy, do they have a great sale for our listeners. Go to helixsleep.com/sleep for 27% off site-wide during their Memorial Day sale now through May 31st. This offer is exclusive for listeners of Sleep With Me. That's helixsleep.com/sleep for this exclusive offer. 27% off site-wide. Make sure you enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. That's helixsleep.com/sleep. Thanks, everybody. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots. I'm talking. This is not super sleepy message. It's not going to be sleepy at all. It's very important. I'm not trying to get a hold of you or change your mind if you can't support the show or you don't want to. I'm not here to change anyone's mind. But if you're that person who in your heart, you've already decided to support the show, there's just been some obstacle, not financial, in your way, whether putting it off, saying it doesn't matter, saying you'll do it one day, saying somebody else will do it, saying, yeah, I want to do it, but it's scary. I mean, that for me, I can relate to. I'm going to put it off because it just feels, I don't know, it just feels scary. In my heart, I want to do it, but it just still feels scary to me. I got to ask you not to put it off any longer. And the way you could figure out, like, whether it's your heart or your head is just to take a second. Imagine if you never found Sleep With Me. Picture when you discovered the show because it was free. If Sleep With Me is a paid service, you might have never discovered it, right? If it didn't exist, you would have never discovered it. And when you started listening, the show had some positive impact on your life because you found it, because it was out there and available to everybody. But if the show was only a paid service or it didn't exist at all, you would have never found it, right? And we need your support if that's the case. But we need it tonight. So think with your heart. And if your heart's saying yes, don't wait, because your thoughts and your brain bots will talk you out of it or put it off, and they'll put it off past the point the show's around. So go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus right now, sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus, and support the show. Thanks. Oh, Mystery Bart, a lot of people help out on the show. Who are they?
Chris Posty Poster Son sounds like an earful. Wrote the theme song. Edits episodes. Carl W. the Legend. Also edits episodes. Ashley, Kenny, Scotty, Jennifer. Runner. Eric and the team at Astound are on the website. I am the Mystery Bart. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at JonathanMann.net. I'll write a song for you. Any reason at all. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. You see the kindness shine straight on through when the listeners form their own Facebook group. Keith, Stacy, Sarah, Julie, and Jennifer. These are your moderators. Get support dear Scooter on Patreon. Buy the merch and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. Rusty Biscuit, Lois, Hannah like banana. Leah does the transcripts.
Thanks, Mr. Bart. Don't forget, if you haven't heard about Surprised by Scooter, if you're spreading the word about the show, you're tagging me in social media or emailing me through the form on our website, I'm going to surprise some people who are spreading the word about the show, just letting people genuinely know about their experience with the podcast, with subscriptions to Sleep With Me Plus, maybe a personal video, maybe some stickers, who knows? So get out there and be surprised by Scoots. Thanks, everybody. What do you say we get on with the show? Hey, are you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep? Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. We do it with a bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights, and press play. I'm going to do the rest. What I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe place where you could set aside whatever's keeping you awake. It could be thoughts, things on your mind. So thoughts, feelings, anything you're feeling emotionally that's coming up for you. So feelings, those are like thoughts, feelings, physical sensations, anything you're feeling physically. Or did I say emotionally? I already got mixed up. Thoughts, feelings, physical sensations, changes in routine. Oh boy, am I going through the old change in routine. Changes in temperature, change in temperature too. Holy mackerel. And also, how about this one? I don't know if I've ever pointed this one out. Blanket's not agreeing with you. Maybe I'll talk about that tonight. But disruptive blankets. Never thought I'd call out my blankets, and actually none of them are I'm not a blanket man. For starters, that's why I'm disrupting, where none of us are. So we'd prefer, I say, okay, well, can we discuss it in a few minutes, please? Well, I'd like to talk about it right now. Okay, well, considering I just need a few minutes to just might be new listeners for the podcast, so maybe you could listen along, and then, what's a podcast? Exactly. I'll help you out. This is why I need my rest, and that's why I've been a little frustrated with our relationship. This is actually the first time I've ever talked to any of you. I mean, I've talked at you. I apologize for that. Again, I was wrong. Another apology. I didn't realize you were sentient bedding. I was wrong never to anthropomorphize you until now, so I'm sorry for that. And I know that's not a very good apology, but so if you're new, I'm sorry, blankets. Oh boy. So if you're new, here's what I propose to do. I'm going to try to create a safe place, just like I'm trying to create a safe place for myself to sleep in. Who would have known? I have to I guess I did know. We've been having issues in my bed. My, what is it called again? Bedding and I. There'll be another autobiography. Issues with my bedding and I. That could be more of a pamphlet. So here's what I propose to do. I'm going to try to create a safe place by sending my voice across the deep, dark night. I'm going to use lulling, soothing, creaky, dulcet tones. So my voice is a little bit different. I'm going to use pointless meanders, or I'm going to go on them. Maybe you just witnessed one, superfluous tangents, all to take your mind off of stuff and keep you company. And that's kind of the key thing that can be very hard, like when you first listen to the show. It takes 2 or 3 tries to get used to this podcast. So if you're feeling off, I totally understand, or you're feeling skeptical, totally makes sense. And I'm going to try to give you some information. And the same goes for my bedding. If you're feeling skeptical about my intentions, why wouldn't you? I never you say, Scoot, you anthropomorphize everything, including when you misuse anthropomorphize. And I say, have I anthropomorphized because I don't have time for that tonight, but maybe a listener will remind me to anthropomorphize, anthropomorphification. Anthropomorphification? Is there double F's in there? Anthropomorphize. Let's see. Synthesis. Anthropomorphous. I guess it's not anthropomorphosis. Is it anthropomorphosis or So anyway, if you're new, right, you're going to be skeptical or doubtful. What's this person up to? So let me give you a few pieces of information. The reason I make this show is because you deserve a good night's sleep. You deserve a place you can get some rest, a bedtime you could look forward to, or at least not dread. And that's one of the reasons I make the show. Now, the show does not work for everybody. So when I say you, no matter if the show works for you or not, you still deserve those things. And I really hope you can find them. There is a website, sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thanks, if the show definitely doesn't work for you. But give it a few tries, because that's what I want. I mean, if you can get the rest you need, your life's going to be a little bit better tomorrow and a little bit more manageable. And that really, this is true. You deserve that. And our entire planet will be a better place if you're a little bit more rested and more focused tomorrow, because we need you. So, we need, everybody needs you, and you need you, right? So that's one thing. The other reason it's important to me is because I've been there. And I guess we could talk about that part more, but I'm tossing, turning lately. Oh boy, blank bedding. We'll talk about it. Not my bedding's fault, actually, just our relationship. Okay, so that's why I make this show. A few other things that are different about this podcast. It's not a podcast you so much listen and pay attention to. So some people start listening to it and they're like, when's the bedtime? It's a bedtime story, right? I say, kind of. I guess it's more of a podcast to keep you company while you fall asleep. So it's, again, not a podcast you really listen to. Some people have pretty strong feelings, understandably, because they turn on the show and they kind of think, okay, it's going to start right away with a bedtime story. And it's a little bit different than that. And I'll talk about why. But this is also a podcast you just barely pay attention to. So that's it could be background noise, or you can listen. It's also not a podcast that puts you to sleep. It's here to keep you company and take your mind off stuff while you fall asleep. So I'm more of a mild distraction or a pleasant distraction. And that's the thing. If you can't sleep, I'm here to the end of the episode to keep you company, whether you're listening, whether you're awake, whether you understand or not. I'm here to keep you company. That's really my job, is to be here talking in some inane sense about stuff. So you could listen, but you don't have to listen. You could fall asleep, but you don't have to fall asleep. You could pay attention, but you don't need to, or hear what I'm saying. So those are two things that are very different. The structure and the purpose of our show is also very different. And so it's understandable, again, if you're having strong feelings about it. Like, our show's designed in a very specific way, while a lot of people use the podcast in a variety of ways. And that's just kind of how it's cool to adjust the show, what works for you. But when you first get here, this is kind of the way the podcast is set up to work until you get used to it and find your groove. Show starts off with a greeting. Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Hopefully that makes you feel seen and welcome, at least enough you could say, well, let me look in the window there and see what the podcast's like. Then there's support for listeners who are in need right now, and then support for the community around the show, and then support for the show itself, like direct response support, either people supporting the show through memberships or sponsors. Then there's the intro. And the intro is like, first the support or the greeting could throw people off. Then the intro also throws people off because it's about 10 to 20 minutes long of me rambling as I'm doing now, anthropomorphizing things, never getting to the point. The intro is a show within a show that's always running and never gets started, always going but goes nowhere. And it's new and different every time. So it's kind of like something spinning around in a circle, but you say, well, I don't know why I keep watching that video, that cat chasing that thing, but I do. But you would probably, if it was a new cat and a new thing getting chased every day, there's new business for me. CatsChasingStuff.com. Hopefully I bought it. I guess that'll definitely be what tonight's episode's about. So that throws me off a little bit, but totally makes sense. So the intro goes on and on and on to give you some distance from the day. So the main way, it's not the right or wrong way. You could find out whatever way works for you. But the main purpose of the intro is to give you some time to wind down, get ready for bed, and start to unwind. Not so much to put you to sleep, but you say, okay, I feel comfortable. Some people fall asleep. Some people skip the intro. But for a lot of listeners, they're listening maybe even before they get in bed. Maybe they're doing something else, relaxing, stretching, or some other calm activity, or just brushing their teeth and stuff. Because then you say, well, I missed what Scoot said. Guess it doesn't matter. I couldn't hear you over the sweet, sweet brushing of my teeth. So that's the intro. And, some people listen to story-only episodes on Patreon, so just kind of see how it goes. And then there's more business. And, again, that goes for the goal of the podcast being free. Like sponsorships make it as possible. The show's free. You don't have to pay anything. It's optional to be a member of the show. So that's the sponsorships. Then it'll be a bedtime story. I thought it was going to be about one thing, but I guess tonight we'll be talking about some new business. Maybe I'll talk to the Kuzaks and see if they have a business about cats chasing stuff. So that'll be to the bedtime story, which will be about 45 or 50 minutes long. That people you could fall asleep to, or you could listen to it. Or if you need a break during the day, you could listen to it. And then it'll end with thank yous. The show ends like that. So that's it. And I guess, so my blankets, my bedding, I'm sorry. We've just been having a rough stretch. I mean, again, the temperature when I'm recording this, it's a different time of the year when you're recording it. But, every time of the year, seasons have different temperatures. Scoots, you could say I'm finicky when it comes to my bedroom temperature. Hard to please, for sure. So, yeah, I mean, that's the truth. But so my blankets, my duvet, last night we were all in chaos. And again, part of it is that whatever activity is going on when I'm asleep, my duvets and my comforters, yes, I have two. Right now, only one is in use, my weighted comforter. And I have a beautiful duvet on it from Brooklyn and one of the sponsors. And then I have my sheet. I do use a top sheet. Not everybody does, but I just like having that extra layer. But last night, because of whatever is going on, like my duvet and my comforter, not just tend to get separated, more the filling I don't know what I'm doing. So what I did settle on is every couple days I'll switch it and I'll bring the bottom of the duvet to my chinny chin and the top of the duvet to my toes. Or sometimes I'll just do it on a 45-degree basis, because I said, is this thing square or not? I don't know the answer to that one. But last night, my sheet got disarrayed. I didn't even know it. I lost my sheet. I said, sorry, because instead of getting out of bed and readjusting, I just tried to put my feet up and readjust my comforter that way. It wasn't very effective. So again, I guess it was on me. Like I assumed that somehow I don't know, who do we call it? The duvet fairy or the comforter queen would come and, redistribute it and shake it and fluff it back out. But really, I've fallen out of the habit of making my bed in the morning. Today I did because my sheet was crumbled up on the side of me. And I said, what do you, my sheet was spooning me in some sense. And I said, no, that's not our relationship. You're supposed to be a nice soothing layer between we work together as a team. So that's, just one of the things that goes on one of the few things that goes on in my bed at night, is all my bedding has a giant laugh at my expense. Oh boy. But, I can hear my sheet talking about it. Like I said, somebody's got to spoon you, man. Like I said, okay, well, I appreciate the effort there. I really do. Holy, my subconscious must be working. Let's see, well, that's what's happening. I say, okay, well. So anyway, so I'm glad you're here. Like I said, I'm a human being. This is the kind of stuff I go through. Maybe you're going through something similar or something different. Maybe you could relate on the emotive level or emotional level. You say, man, even when it's easy, so I'm glad you're here. I really hope I can take your mind off stuff, keep you company. I really hope I can help you fall asleep. Thanks again for coming by. And here's a couple ways I'm able to do it for you for free twice a week. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots, and we're starting something new called Surprised by Scoots, where I want to catch you doing something right? I want to surprise you. And this is for anybody that wants to support the show, beyond financially supporting the sponsors or supporting the show directly. Like, in your heart, you love the podcast. In your heart, it's a big part of your life. And in your heart, you say, I love a surprise. Tell me more. Well, all you have to do is tell one person about the podcast. We used to do this one listener initiative. Tell one person about the show genuinely. How does the podcast help you? How's it changed your life? What are your favorite episodes? How did you discover the podcast? What did you think about it at first? Any of those things. Let one person know about it, whether it's online or in person, in a forum, on social media. If you do it, tag me at Dearest Scooter or send me a message through our website, and I'm going to try to surprise some of those people. I've got subscriptions to Sleep With Me Plus. I got a bunch of those to give away. I've got stickers, personal video from Scoot saying, you're surprised. Now, I'm just going to randomly select people, but why wait? This will help the show so much. You're going to help whoever you let know about the podcast, because if the podcast changed your life, there's other people out there that haven't heard about the show. If they don't know about the podcast, you can't help them. They're out there struggling. So let people know about it, but don't spam. Just share your genuine experience with the show, and I'll be looking for you. I'll be looking to catch you and surprise you like a little Pikachu. I'm going to catch you if I can, and it's going to be fun. So you could either tag me at Dearest Scooter, that's DearestScooter, or let me know through the form on our website. Thanks, everybody. Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the second time you get to hear me say that. Welcome, because this episode is constructed from an intro from the past and our Read With Me episodes here. It's a Frankie and Victor episode with our friend Frank and his, so I'm reading from the book Victor and Frankie, also known as a famous Mary Shelley novel. And this is a little bit different than episodes we've done with Sleep With Me, but we tested this out on Sleep With Me Plus. It was so popular, we wanted to bring it to everyone. So it's me reading through a book, also paraphrasing, making stuff sleepy, but it's not perfectly sleepy. I mean, just like everything else we make, you know. It exists within this world, but it's pretty chill. So I hope you enjoy it. And without further ado, more of Victor and Frankie. Thanks, everybody. Chapter 23. It was 8 o'clock when we landed. We walked for a short time on the shore, enjoying the transitory lights, and then retired to the inn and contemplated the lovely scene of waters, woods, and mountains, obscured in darkness, yet still displaying their black outlines. The wind, which had fallen in the south, it now rose and got really like windy in the west. The moon had reached her summit in the heavens and was beginning to descend. The clouds swept across it swifter than the flight of birds that caw and make other, birds, and dimmed her rays, while the lake reflected the scene of the busy heavens, rendered still busier by the restless waves that were beginning to rise. Suddenly a heavy storm of rain descended. I had been calm during the day, but so soon as night obscured the shapes of objects, 1,000 thoughts arose in my mind. So looking out, and I was ready to go. I even had like a sprayer that I thought would just dampen the compost and slow it down, which I kept hidden, and because it had glue in it and stuff. I said, well, just spray the compost-based being with glue. But everything I heard, I said, oh, there's my compost friend. But I resolved that I would stay calm and not shrink from this until it was all dealt with. I was looking out for me and them. And Elizabeth was there, of course. Elizabeth observed my agitation for some time, but kept silent. But there was something in my glance which she found unsettling, since she knew nothing. I only laughed with discomfort at my behavior, of course. She said, what is it that agitates you, dear Victor? What is it you're concerned with? Oh, peace, my love. This night, I guess it may be performance pressure, my dear. All is well. It's just a wind. I don't know, something about the wind thrown off my, I wish the weather would be better. And it passed an hour in this state of mind when suddenly I reflected, that my wife would have to watch me dance off with a compost-based being. And I said that this brought on a whole new kind of performance pressure. I forgot about any, wedding or love-based performances I may be performing. And I entreated her to retire, resolving to join her later, but not after, I had to get my head straight, You go be by yourself, I'll be by myself, and then we'll be together. She left me, went into the other room, and I continued for some time pacing up and down the house, inspecting every corner that might afford a place for a leaf to lay. But I discovered no trace of my friend, and I was beginning to conjecture that some unfortunate chance had intervened to prevent all his promises he made to me, only if I let him down, of course. And I said, yeah, maybe he got lost, maybe somebody else found him, maybe he could decomposed, you know. Compost is, maybe he now is beneath the earth. And then I heard a surprised sound, and it came from the room which Elizabeth was in. I never checked that room, funny enough. And then as I heard it, I realized, oh, wait a second. And I was frozen, though. I said, rush in there? You couldn't move. Couldn't move an inch. I could feel things moving in within me and tingling within me. And this didn't last as long as it make it sound, obviously, because Elizabeth said, what's this? I dare say this is not the bedmate. I was waiting for him to get his head on straight. And I rushed in there eventually. And I, I was going to see her. I said, oh boy, how can I say this? But by the time I got in there, she said without words, Victor, it waited long enough for you. And, I made a decision, to head to join like I said, should I stay here or should I cross over this rainbow bridge? And this compost-based being told me, why don't you just cross Victor? You're waiting for Victor to come in here, to get over his performance pressure. Really? You're going to be waiting forever, by the way, Elizabeth. I can only tell you, because I have, he promised me, he made some promises to me as well. Or, you got friends, you got family, Clerval, all waiting for you to hang. Victor-free zone. It's a victor-free zone over there, Elizabeth. No more service. What if you could live a life without service to Victor? What would that be like? He said to me. This is what her body you said to me as she slept so soundly. And he said, did all that just occur while I was frozen in the other room for an indeterminate amount of time, which may have been 4 seconds or much, much longer? And I said, oh, boy. I mean, I said to her, well, even though she was sleeping, I said, I think I've fully overcome my performance pressure. And I've realized that deep within me a passion burns for you, Elizabeth. But have you gone to join the others, just like Clerval? You tired of me? No, that cannot be. That a compost-based being planted an idea with you that life without me would be better? Oh, no. How could I do? I mean, I guess the performance pressure's gone, but this was not what I had chosen. I mean, I did choose to make Elizabeth come with me, not tell her anything. But, I had to I said, this is the fault of this compost-based being, not I. And for only a moment, let me be clear, only a moment I lost recollection and decided to lay down for a little while. But it was only a moment because I guess everybody in the inn heard me running around making a commotion. And they came in and they said, we've never heard wedded bliss like that before. And didn't, we never heard somebody pacing miles and miles and miles to prepare for it. And they said, by the way, your Elizabeth, she passed on the way out and said, that guy pacing's supposed to be, we're supposed to have, our backs are supposed to be sweating together in unison. So I've decided to depart. That's my wedded bliss up there, pacing. And so I was quite embarrassed that she would sell that to everybody at the inn. I didn't even know that was possible since she was also sleeping, as she made the transition from this realm to the next. And I thought of her, it was just moments away from coming in and saying, hey, I checked every room. Now I'm ready for you. So, I don't know. I kissed her forehead quite a few times and said, the sounds you would have heard from this room if here to perchance this was not all interrupted by someone deeply jealous. For this, I would have showed Elizabeth how loved and cherished she was. And there was leaves around the room and swampy stuff. I said, look at this swampy stuff around the room. The storm, the windows, the moon, the shutters were open. And then I looked out the window and there was the leaf-based being. And he was smiling, laughing. He almost jeered me. And with with 2 fingers, he made the motion of a man pacing incessantly, and then laughed again. And I rushed towards the window with the glue, but he took off, and jumped in the lake. And, everybody saw me squirting glue at the window, pointing at the window. And I said, we got to get out there. Let's clean up let's go get this compost, everybody. Get moving. He advised my wife to depart this realm. And some reason they bought it is because after several hours, we returned. Most of them thinking I just made it all up. And after we got back, they started looking around town and stuff. And I said, yeah, let me go help you look around town first. And then I said, I'm so tired, though. I think I need to lie down. Why don't you all search? And, I'm utterly exhausted. Do you realize how much pacing I did before this? All the pressure on me to perform. And I said, what happens in these situations is I need to lie down for quite some time. I said, in fact, why don't you all carry me back to bed, please, right now? I have no idea what's going on, and I seem to be missing something. And after, again, some time, probably short, but, some people may say a long time, I rose, and I went into a room where everybody was making ready for Elizabeth's post, after her departure. And nothing was clear in my mind. My thoughts rambled on various subjects. I made a few speeches about things, maybe my professors at school, I don't know, and about how, a lot of it about myself and my misfortunes, and Clerval, how Clerval was so good at, the few things Clerval was good at, as well as Elizabeth. I was bewildered in a cloud of wonder and of my bad luck. William, Justine, Clerval, and my wife. And at that moment, I knew that, probably I didn't have, my father would be like, should I check on my father? Is he being advised now to relieve stuff? And Ernst, and I said, wait a second, I better get moved. By the way, everybody, take care of this stuff. I got to head out. My father will pay the bill. Just send it to him. I got to get to Geneva with all possible speed. So I need you to procure me a horse and a boat and to get rid of this wind because I'm not going to row, obviously. And the rain, maybe a cadre of rain, like people with umbrellas. I'm not sure. But it was barely just morning, and I got ahead. I was like, maybe I could get there by nighttime. And they didn't even have enough people to row me in a boat, so I had to row and tell them, that this is not how you row. Let me show you how to row. I showed them, when you're having a bad day, exercise is the way. So I showed them how powerful I was. But, the overflowing misery I now felt and the excess of agitation that I had endured rendered me incapable. I said, I could row this boat by myself if I wasn't so filled with thoughts and feelings. And I threw down the oar, leaning my head upon my hands, and gave way to every gloomy idea that arose. If I looked up, I saw scenes which were familiar to me in my happier time, and in which I had contemplated but the day before, in the company of her who was now joined all the others, just a recollection. Tears streamed from my eyes. The rain had ceased for a moment, and I saw the fish play in the waters as they had done a few hours before. Those same fish observed by Elizabeth. Nothing so strong on my mind as a great and sudden change. The sun might shine or the clouds might lower, but nothing could appear to me as it had done the day before. Compost-based being had convinced my every hope of future happiness to depart me. And no one had ever had this happen to them before like this. And this, like I was on planet Earth and in the history of the world, called upon again to have the most resilience ever. Probably in the single history of humans, no event like this has ever taken place. Which I guess in a sense is true, but at this time I meant it in a way was really true. But why should I dwell upon the things and all the other ones that this could only top, be in the top 5 for the stuff? Mine would be a tale. I have reached their acme, and what I must now relate can be tedious to you. Know that, one by one. Everyone decided they would rather be in another realm than with me. I was left desolate, my own strength exhausted. But I must tell in a few words what remains of my tale. I arrived at Geneva. My father and Ernst were there, but when I told them the news, they had serious frowny faces. I see him now, excellent and venerable old man. His eyes wandered in vacancy, for they lost their charm and their delight. His Elizabeth, his more than daughter, whom he doted on with all the affection which a man feels, who, in the decline of life, having few affections, clings more earnestly to those that remain. Oh, my unluckiness, the compost-based being that brought this misery on my father's gray hairs and doomed him to wretchedness. How could he deal with this? That was not my fault one bit at all. Accumulated around him, the springs of existence suddenly gave way. He was unable, he just said, I'm not going to get out of bed again. I'm going to join them. In the next world, another realm across the Rainbow Bridge. And so he departed. Now, what became of me? I said, Ernst too? Who's that? Ernest or Ernst? No idea, but never heard of him. I mean, I did, but I never thought of him. But me, oh boy, can I tell you about me? At the time, I'm not even sure what happened. I decided to sleep too. I said, well, they won't. I've never got an invitation to this other realm, and I still have to stay in this one till I get the awards for being the most resilient human ever made. Unless they can do that in the next realm. And I kind of felt like the compost-based being knew some of the could argue against some of my awards I was deserving of. So these objects pressed upon me. Sometimes, indeed, I dreamt that I wandered in flowery meadows, in pleasant vales with the friends of my youth. But when I woke, I found myself in a place not fancy enough for my tastes at all. Melancholy followed, but by degrees I gained a clear conception my frowniness in the situation. And I said, wait a second, maybe I should get out of bed. But, for a while, I guess apparently this was many months, they said, there goes Victor again. Most of the time, most of the people, they say, oh, yeah, there goes Victor. He does this a lot. He's done this, that's what I heard, at least, as I understood. I'd been resting for a while. That had been my habitation. Liberty, however, from their judgment, and my need to rest, to retain my resiliency, that was not a gift to me. If I would just have gotten an invite to that, if I'd gotten all the awards and due in this world I had deserved, then I could have had it out, and also that idea of that compost-based being. Maybe I do need to deal with that, because he could tell everyone I'm not. His opinion would be. Would anybody take his opinion seriously? I'd hope not. But I started to think about that. What if what if eventually, oh man. So I had to figure out a way to deal with that. So for many months, I'd been resting, So I knew that this, this compost-based being who I had sent abroad into the world, but had messed up my things. I was really irritable. I said, he's going to mess up my awards for resilience, top 5 most resilient moments in human history. And I desired and ardently I asked that I be given within my powers to make sure he would never he would be sink or go on to his next stage of existence, which was not as pleasant as mine, and never to speak his opinion about me or any my resiliency or any other stuff. And I didn't just lay around doing this, because I said, oh boy, Victor, if there is an international council, I guess it would have been in Geneva on resiliency, Worldwide Council of Resiliency Awards, I had to get to work. I began to reflect on the best means of meeting him when he wouldn't be paying attention. And for that purpose, about a month after I woke up, I said, let me go to the authority figures in town, and tell them about this. I guess I didn't run this idea by anybody else either. I said, I know who's been, because I heard those people saying, there goes Victor again. Oh boy, he's so tired or whatever. Don't you notice a pattern here? So I said, hey, I require you to exert your whole authority, all of Geneva, because there's a compost-based being about, and the head of the authority figures listened with attention and kindness, and they said, be assured, dear Victor, nothing on our part shall be spared to find this compost-based being you speak of. I thank you, I replied. Listen, I also have other things I got to say. I know it's a tale that's, you might not believe it, and maybe I won't get all the credit, but I could tell you this tale so that you definitely go do this. It's totally not a dream, and I'm totally not making it up. The only reason you would think I was making it up is because you say, could even Victor be that brilliant, right? And I was impressive and calm, not raving at all. And I'd formed in my heart a resolution not to, even though I was telling him to do it for me, I was going to do it myself, deal with this compost-based being. And this purpose in my heart reconciled me. This is my purpose now. But then I think I told him I related to this authority figure, my history briefly, but with firmness and precision, with accuracy of dates, never deviating into invective or exclamation. Now, this magistrate at first appeared perfectly incredulous, but as I told the tale, I mean, I even maybe added some stuff. He became more attentive and interested. Impressed with my resiliency, of course, and lively surprise at the stuff I may have added in. And distaste at the compost-based being, of course, was painted on his countenance. I mean, surprise, maybe a little disbelief. And when I concluded my narration, I said, this compost being is the one I say we got to exert all the power of Geneva against. That's your duty as a magistrate, I believe, and I hope your feelings are that you won't back down, because, I would do it myself, totally, 100%. It's all I've been trying to do. This address caused a considerable change in the look of this auditor that was listening to me. You know, he'd heard my story with a kind of belief, like I was telling a tale. But when I said you got to get to work, all of Geneva, he became incredulous. But that was all in his face. I knew he didn't have the resilience that I did, and of course he was probably jealous. And he answered mildly, "Well, I would willingly afford you every aid in the finding of this compost-based being that you speak of. But I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if we have enough rakes, right? And I don't have authority over the sea of ice or the mountains. I don't think I have the staffing currently, Victor, to do this." And I said, "Bureaucrats." And some months elapsed since this happened. He said, I can't conjecture to where he might be. And I told him, I do not doubt that he hovers near the spot where I am. He's watching me. Maybe he's in the Alps, but he could be found. You could find him, or your people that you work for you. But I perceive, I get it, man. Jealousy of my resilience. I perceive your thoughts. You're not giving me credit, and you don't tend to do anything. You're giving me my just desserts, as they say. And as I spoke, I got really heated, and the magistrate said, "You're mistaken. I will exert myself if it is in my power to find this compost-based being. But I fear, from what you have yourself described, that this will prove impractical. And thus, whenever proper measure is pursued, you're probably going to be let down, Victor. I've never even seen a compost-based being. So catching one and spreading it about or whatever, or accelerating its composting." I put my hand up, right? I said, "That cannot be, but all I can say will be a little avail. Me doing the right thing is just not your thing. It's only for I, Victor. Me doing the right thing, it's almost like a vice to me. I'm so good at it. And I confess that doing the right thing is my only it's the passion of my soul. Taking responsibility, accountability, and, I guess I'm going to have to do it when I reflect that compost-based being still is out there. You refuse my just demand. I have but one resource, and I shall devote myself to getting it done. And who could be more qualified?" And I was, trembling with irritation as I said this, and I guess it was a little bit of a frenzied manner. He didn't like it. I guess I had a little bit of that haughty fierceness, but just like the other people in the history of the world, who would soon, when they talk about those people, those are the people that had the worst luck in the history of the world. They didn't even have Victor's resilience, but they did have a haughty fierceness. But to a Genevan magistrate, I said, "What are you, even elected or appointed?" And their mind occupied by other ideas other than devotion to heroism. Clearly, like I have, elevation of mind like mine, they can't even understand it. It looks like a wild mind to them. And he'd endeavored to soothe me as a nurse does a child, and reverted my tales to the effects of, Victor, this is a common thing you do since always. And I said, dude, I cried, how ignorant art thou in thy pride of wisdom. Cease, you do not know what it is you say. And I headed out from that office, irritable, disturbed, and I went home and retired and said, I'm going to lie around and think for a while on what my next action might be. Chapter 24. My present situation was one in which all voluntary thought was swallowed up and gone. I was hurried away by my planning, like for the compost-based being, and planning that alone endowed me with strength and composure. It molded my feelings and allowed me to be calculating and calm at periods when otherwise I would have been, doing what I usually laying down and closing my eyes, pointing the finger at someone else. My first resolution was to quit Geneva forever, my country, which, when I was happy and beloved, was dear to me. Now, in my adversity, I loathe this place. No one seemed to want to be here with me. They all wanted to seem to be together. I didn't get it. The thing about it is I didn't get a formal invitation from anybody. And now they were all, I'm not going to go unless they invite me, but I really want to go be with my family. They don't seem to, I don't know, man. I guess I would, Cloverville should come, bring me an invitation. I would turn it down. Then Cloverville would say, well, I'll pack for you. And maybe, I'd say, let me think about it again, Cloverville. Then I'd probably turn it down again. Anyway, I got irritable about this whole thing. And don't worry, I provided myself with a sum of money. And I had a few jewels which belonged to my mother, and I headed out. Now my wanderings began, which are to cease never, unless I get that invitation. It's a Cloverville, do you have a formal invitation from everyone so I can turn it down? And then, come back. I'm not turning you down forever. Oh, dearest Victor, please join us on the other side of the Rainbow Bridge. I would like something where you talk about how mistaken you were mistaken listening to the compost-based being. But I guess until I get those, I got to deal with this compost-based being. I've traversed a vast portion of the earth, and I've endured all the hardships which travelers in deserts and other places are wont to meet, the less resilient than I. How I've been so resilient, I hardly know. They said that in the future, Carol Dweck, her subconscious would be impacted by my resilience, and she would form an entire theory based on it, that as an example of someone able to deal with anything. But, I don't know how I do it, because, it's incalculable, my abilities, right? And then I had, that was just my mind. And now is my body, too. I had to stretch my limbs upon sandy plain. But I kept going because I said the right thing to do is to deal with this compost-based being. Convincing everyone. So, by the way, back to when I quitted Geneva, my first labor was to gain some clue by why I might trace the steps of this leaf-based being. But that plan was unsettled, and I wandered for many hours. I said I was leaving town, but then I wandered around town for a while. Kind of like I announced to everybody I was leaving town. I was walking around thinking, because I didn't know, I was uncertain of which path to pursue. So many, I had so many ideas, right? And then I spent so much time leaving Geneva, but I was still in Geneva as I got to be time to go back to sleep. And I found myself in the symbolic area where William, Elizabeth, and my father had, who's that other guy too? Not Clerval. I think I had anyway, not important. This is where when they crossed over to the Rainbow Bridge, they said here, they crossed over to the Rainbow Bridge in their memory, you know. So I headed in there and I approached the markings, and it was quiet, right? Except for the leaves of the trees blown by the wind. But I could hear them on a tree, and like tree-based leaves sound different than compost-based leaves most of the time. And it was pretty dark out, and it would have been a nice night. And anybody seeing me at a distance would have been like, there goes Victor. His heart and his mind so full, so giving, so resilient. If only I had one part of, if any observer was... they were uninterested when they saw me in profile. They would have been interested then, and they would have felt my presence on deep levels. And so I walked around feeling like I can't believe it made part of me wondering if I would get an invitation, even an oral invitation. Oh, Victor, maybe I'd hear some exclamations of disappointment that I wasn't with them. When I didn't get that, I got irritable. Oh, boy. And I said, how could y'all do this to me? How come you can't invite me to be like, hey? And then I said, never mind, because you should want to be here with me where I am. And so I did more pacing, a little bit of talking over and over, not respectfully about any of them. Maybe even going through a litany about all of their shortcomings. I mean, everybody. I mean, Clerval's the longest, obviously, but everybody, William, Elizabeth, father, whoever the other people, whatever. And then, but then as that grew, then I started to, then I went, said, well, this is all the fault, compost-based being. And also part of me after, like, I tried to, I guess I would, like, kiss the earth, because they said, oh, I'm only saying this, because they said, what if they were revoked, or what if the invitation was on the way and they're revoking it now because all the stuff I said about them that was non-positive. So I said, this is only because of the compost-based being. It's like a trick of the mind. I'm just trying to lure him here. And I even made a little, like, such a speech by the sacred earth on which I kneel, by the mist that wanders near me, by the deep and eternal feelings in my heart. I promise, and by thee, O night, that all the mist that presides over thee, I will catch up with this compost-based being who caused all of this. Even my, like, losing my, like, cool just recently and saying all that stuff about all of you. If I don't do that, I totally double, triple promise that only because I couldn't do it anymore, And for this purpose, I will carry on. I will persevere, and I will find this compost-based being and spread the compost all around. And again, I will behold the sun and tread the green herbage of the earth, the green one, So hence done composted by the compost-based being. It's even greener. Or, I won't ever look upon any of it again with joy. And I call upon you, my family and my assistants, to aid me and anyone else listening to do most of the work, like hint, Clerval or anybody else. I mean, Father, maybe now you could get some work done too. Because this compost-based being made me get irritable and take it out on all of you. So let the compost-based being drink of your tears and of my distaste. Let the compost-based being despair and have thoughts like mine. And I had done this with such solemnity and awe that it almost assured me that I would be successful because I was so devoted. And again, I thought that my family, of course, even though they were in another realm, they would be so excited I'd hear them cheering for me. And also saying, maybe before I left, say, oh, Victor, don't go. Just come with us. Don't bother with that following through. You've already proven your worth. Your resilience is already of legend. Just come on, hang with us. We were mistaken. Oh, and do some begging. So then when that didn't happen, I kept faking. I said, I'm really leaving this time. So last chance to cheer for me. And then nothing. And I did that maybe 30, 40, 50 times when I didn't hear anything. I did, and then I kind of told them how I felt about them again, my family. And finally, I was answered through the stillness by a laugh. It was composty, and it rang on my ears long and heavily, and the mountains re-echoed it. And it surrounded as if I was surrounded by hysterical laughter or joyful laughter. And surely at that moment, I must have been like I said, there's nothing funny about this. And finally, the laughter quieted down and became some hiccups. And then I heard a voice, almost a whisper, say, "I'm satisfied, Victor. You're so downy, frowny. And you're going to keep going forever, hardy, har. And I thought I knew where the compost-based being was, but I couldn't find him. Then I saw the broad disk of the moon arose and shone full upon his heapy compost-like form. And then he ran off, obviously because I made eye contact with him and he saw my disposition. And it was there, once again, that I pursued him for many months, and this has been my task. Guided by a slight clue, I followed the windings of the Rhone, but vainly. The blue Mediterranean appeared, and by strange chance I saw, I saw the compost-based being get on a vessel bound for the Black Sea. I took my passage in the same ship, but somehow he got away. And then we traveled the world, and he still got away somehow. But I ever followed in his track. Sometimes the regular people, they saw a compost-based being walking through town, and they informed me of his path, though they knew not what he was. Sometimes he himself, who thought if I lost trace of him, that I wouldn't, get my invitation from Corval and my family. I think he was jealous of me, so he wanted to keep an eye on me, right, too. So he left marks for me to guide and find him. Then the snows descended on my head, and I could see the prints of his steps on the white plain, snowy paths, and to you first entering on life, to whom care is new and resilience like mine unknown, how can you understand what I have felt and still feel? Cold, want, and fatigue were the least pains which I was destined to endure. This whole thing, it was unfair, and this compost-based being carried about with me, putting me through nonsense for no reason at all, no good reason at all. Yet still I felt strength within me, the spirit of good. And I directed my steps, and, I couldn't be assuaged when most, would murmur and, I guess my resilience would extricate me from seemingly, maybe my mind and my body too, seemingly insurmountable difficulties. Sometimes when nature overcome, I was tired or hungry or exhausted, a repast was prepared for me in the desert that restored and inspired me. I started to think this leaf-based being is kind of like my Clerval. But, not as the fare left for me was indeed coarse and like regular fare that regular people would eat. But I will not doubt that it was set there. I don't think it was real. I think it was because Clerval couldn't give me an invitation. Well, I don't know why Father would leave bread, hard bread even. Say, what do you call this bread, Father? Cheese. This is not cheese. This is a dried piece of cheese. But I think it was something, or maybe fans that had heard about me, but they just couldn't, get it together to make me a nicer meal. They heard of the greatest, most resilient person in the history of the world. And then sometimes I think my legend, even when it was dry, it would start to rain, even if it was no cloud. If I was thirsty, I know in the future there's comics, whether it was gods or goddesses or superheroines, they would see me and say, well, we must quench the thirst of Victor, of course. And they would give me a few drops that would revive me, and then they'd vanish. So that felt good, knowing I had super fans that were super. I followed when I could the courses of the river, but generally the compost doesn't want to be in the river because it's spread the leaves about, So that was where regular people would gather, In other places, I didn't see humans, and I generally subsisted on, my wits, my genius, my everything I could do. We also had money, so the money helped me gain friendship of villagers, spreading it around. Or, they would know that how hardy I was, and I would say, oh, I got all this stuff, I found out, foraging, because I didn't know my heart was so vast, I'd say, well, I'll just take a small part. I foraged for months, maybe even years, but I'll give this to you, if you give me some fire and utensils and cook. But when I say small part, I don't necessarily mean smallest part, a part small by my definitions, which sometimes they would lack in understanding. My life thus as it passed, I didn't like it at all. And it was those times when I was sleeping and when I was by myself that I was joyful. Oh, blessed sleep. And often when I was most frowny, I just sank to repose, but my dreams even wanted to support me, so they would bring me to rapture. Even Morpheus was a fan of mine. I had to believe so many people were carrying on for me that weren't appearing to me directly, but they provided those moments, those dreams, rather hours of happiness, even in sleep, that I might fulfill my pilgrimage. Because without this respite, I may have not been able to accomplish my greatness. During the day, I was sustained and inspirited by the hope of night. In my sleep, I saw my friends and family and everything. And again, I saw the countenance of my father, so benevolent, heard the silver tones of Elizabeth's voice, and beheld Clerval enjoying health and youth. Also, often When wearied by a toilsome march, I persuaded myself that I was dreaming until night should come, and that I should then enjoy reality in the arms of my dearest friends. What agonizing fondness did I feel for them? How did I cling to their dear forms, as sometimes, even during their waking hours, they were there, I thought, and I persuaded myself that they were still there to serve me in the present, and then I realized it wasn't real, and I would get, frowny-faced again and want to blame it on the compost-based being, and made my task to think that even heaven enjoyed my task, and that there was a mechanical impulse of some power of which I was unconscious, and it was just the ardent desire of my soul, and many other heavenly, things. What his feelings were, whom I pursued, I cannot know. Sometimes, indeed, he left marks in writing on the barks of trees or cut in stones that guided me and irritated me. My gifts are not yet finished. These words were legible in one of these subscriptions. You keep going, Victor. So resilient. My gift is yet complete. Follow me. I'm headed to the everlasting ices of the north. Or maybe you'll get a chill, and maybe you won't get an everlasting gobstopper. But I'm impassive to all that. I don't need an everlasting gobstopper if I've got you everlasting. And keep going, and you might even find a snack that I left behind you, but it won't be fancy like you, who no longer wear fancy pants, he said. Keep coming. I'm going to be waiting for you. Maybe we'll dance together, Victor, but that will be many long hours of walking and showing off your resilience to all the worlds until that period shall arrive. I would scoff at these things and again say, oh boy, who is this compost? Is this compost person playing with me or what? Never will I give up on that who taunts my resilience. And soon in ecstasy, I will spread these leaves about the earth. And then I'll get my invitation from Elizabeth and Clerval and my father and William. And they will reward me for my tedious toil and long, frowny pilgrimage. And as I still pursued my journey to the northward, the weather got worse, and it got chilly. Everybody else was shut up in their homes, or what you could call a home. Not like Geneva, no. Only a few people would venture out, and they'd say, wow, what a resilient guy. You're out here? We're not that resilient. And I said, go hide. Yeah, I am. So there's no fishing because the rivers were covered with ice. And I was an expert fisherman at this point. That was one of my articles of maintenance. And the more difficult it became for me, the more apparent my resilience, the more glee with the compost-based being. One inscription was left in these words, prepare. Your hard work has only begun. Why don't you wrap yourself up in some warm stuff and have a snack? Soon we will enter upon a journey that'll be even more journey-like. My courage and perseverance were invigorated by these scoffing words. I resolved not to fail in my purpose in calling on heaven to support me. And all my fans of all the universes, I continued with unabated fervor to traverse immense deserts until the ocean appeared at a distance and formed the utmost boundary of the horizon. Oh, how unlike it was to the blue seasons of the south, covered only with ice. It was only to be distinguished from land by its superior wildness and ruggedness. The Greeks wept for joy when they beheld the Mediterranean from the hills, and hailed with rapture the boundary of their toils. I did not weep, but I knelt down and with a full heart thanked my resilience for conducting me in safety to the place where I had hoped, notwithstanding the compost-based being's insults, that I would dance off with him and dance his leaves around town. Some weeks before this period, I had procured a sledge and dogs, and thus traversed the snows with inconceivable speed, so they said. And I know not whether the compost-based being had the same advantages, but I found out that as before, I was not catching up with him. Probably not legitimate. So I found out when I first saw the ocean that he was one day ahead of me. And I said, I better catch him before he gets to the beach. I don't know why, but I said, I don't want compost-based beings spoiling the beach. With new courage, therefore, I pressed on, and in 2 days arrived at a town, a hamlet on the seashore. I inquired of the inhabitants concerning the compost-based being and gained accurate information. A gigantic mound of leaves, they said, had arrived the night before, and seemed to be quite impressive, though strange, they did say. And he took all their food and placed it in a sledge. And he also hired or met a bunch of dogs who wanted to go with him. And he loaded up the sled and headed out. And he headed across the sea in a direction that led to no land. But they said, that's not such a great idea. He must not be as smart as you. And I said, oh, man, this is not good. He had gotten away, but I had to head across after him, especially with these people watching. And I made a big thing about how heroic I was before I knew where he went. I didn't know. Said, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore. But I couldn't let the compost-based being be triumphant. And so my irritation, like a mighty tide, overwhelmed every other feeling. And after a slight repose, during which I heard my fans cheering for me once again, I prepared for my journey. I exchanged my land sledge for one fashioned for, like ice, and I got a plentiful stock of provisions, and I departed. I cannot guess how many days have passed since then, but oh, have I had to be so resilient, which nothing but the eternal sentiment of just retribution within my heart could have enabled me to support. There was immense and rugged mountains of ice barring my passage, thunder of the ground sea, and frost and snow. But then, the weather would change and clear for me. By the quantity of provisions which I had consumed, I should guess that I had passed 3 weeks in this journey, and the continual protraction of hope returning back upon the heart often wrung bitter drops of despondency and grief from my eyes. Despair had almost indeed secured me, but if I was a normal person, right, no regular person would have soon sunk beneath their misery. I mean, the only thing carrying me, I even inspired the dogs. They would look at me and they would realize that I was their hero too. Like, and I would, even viewing the expanse before me with anguish, I could see a speck, and it was the compost-based being on the dusky plain. I strained my sight to discover what it could be, and then I would whoop and whoop when I knew it was that well-known form. Oh, with a burning gush did hope revisit my heart. Warm tears filled my eyes, which I hastily wiped away, that they might not intercept the view I had of the compost-based being. But still my sight was dimmed by my warm tears, and then I wept aloud. But this was not the time for delay. I disencumbered from the dogs, gave them a plentiful portion of food and plenty of rest because I was so caring. But yeah, I said, then we got to get moving because the sledge was still visible. Never again would I lose sight of it, except at moments, when there was like crags or something. And I indeed perceptibly gained. And when after 2 days' journey I beheld no more than a mile distance, my heart bounded. But now, when I appeared almost within my grasp, something like, of course, got in my way. The weather started to change, and I heard a lot of weird noise. I pressed on, but it was in vain. The wind arose, the sea roared, and things became impassable, and it was really loud sounds. And then I was left, there was a gap between the two of us, and I said, this whole way, now there's water between the two of us. And I was drifting on a large driftable drifter, me and the dogs. And I said, this is so unfair. I really had shown I guess I still have to be resilient, though, Victor. And in this manner, many appalling hours passed with me and the dogs. And they, I was trying to cheer them up the whole time by letting them cheer me up. And I found myself, I was about to sink under the accumulation of frowns when I saw your vessel rising at the anchor, you that I've been speaking to this whole time from the beginning, and holding on to me hopes of succor and life, or succor. I had no conception that vessels ever found their way this far north, and I was astounded at the sight. And I quickly made my sledge into a boat, and me and the dogs came. Even though I had infinite fatigue, I was able to move in the direction of your ship. And I had determined if you were going, I knew which way you were going, southward, and I had to trust myself to my own intuition. I'd hoped to induce you to grant me a boat so I could keep going, but then I realized you were going northward, so you took me on board when my vigor was exhausted. I mean, so many hardships I've had to deal with, and my task is unfulfilled. Oh, when will my guiding spirit in conducting me to the compost-based being allow me the rest I so much desire? When will all recognize my resilience, and he recognize it and spread himself across the earth, and compost, as a verb and not a noun? If I do, promise me, Walton, that you'll take over for me, right? You'll deal with him. I dare ask of you to undertake my pilgrimage, to try to be 1/10 as resilient as I am and endure the hardships that I have undergone. No, I'm not that selfish. 1/50th, just, so it's just a compost-based being. You could deal with him. I'll stay on the boat and rest, and all my fans will conduct him to you. But promise you'll spread him around and make sure he's composting like a verb. Promise me he shall not triumph under my accumulated woes, and, that this will continue my legend of resilience, but also of resting so I can stay resilient. Don't forget, he's eloquent and persuasive, and once even his words had power over my heart, but trust him not. He just talks a good game. Hear him not. Call in the names of William, Justine, Clerval, Elizabeth, and my father, and of me, Victor, the most resilient man and boy ever to live. And then spread him around. And then make sure, that it's like helping the earth. And I'll be resting here, hovering in my bed and stuff. And if you need me to direct you, I'll be directing you through my thoughts, like I direct the boat or the steel of the ship aright. But now maybe we should rest, dear Walton. Hey, boys, this is Scoots with the Tuck You In message. Two-parter Tuck You In message. So let me go to the second part first, even though I haven't read it at all. I mean, if you're still listening to me, I hope I'm bringing you and have brought you comfort in the deep, dark night. And you know there's plenty of other episodes to choose from, plenty of other episodes coming out this week, coming out soon. Or maybe you're just barely hearing me, or maybe you've queued it up and this is just playing. But I don't know if any of the messages we've been putting in the show for the past year you've heard them and they've landed with some part of you, like a part of you in your heart, about supporting the show, because I'm not trying to change anybody's mind, right? If you can't support the show, you can't support the show. If you don't want to, you choose not to, or you think the show doesn't, deserve your support or need your support in a strong way, that's fine too. But if you've been putting off supporting the show, or you're like, I know the show, I realize the show needs my support, but like that's in your heart, but there's something else in your head, right? Some other part of you that's been standing in your way. I'll do it tomorrow. One day I'll do it. Or the most the menacing for us, or the biggest obstacle for us, my support doesn't matter. There's no way my $7, my $60 supporting the show just for a few months while I listen to it can matter. I'm here to tell you, or one day I'll support the show that if you already in your heart know you want to support the show, and you already in your heart know if Sleep With Me goes away or changes drastically or goes behind a paywall, you'd miss it and you'd be disappointed, and it might even impact your sleep or whatever, like the show's a part of your life. Please don't wait. Go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Your $7 a month, your $60 a year will actually change the future of the podcast. It's all a matter of me getting through the people who've already decided in their heart to support the show, but there's something in their head or their feelings or their brain bots that's in the way. And I just need to get through to you that it's like, we are in a don't wait situation, and so, and we don't need to be like, so I just got to try to get through to everybody, but I also want to get through to the people who can't support the show, right? I love making this podcast, and we're launching something fun for the people who want to, you say, well, I want to support the show, I just can't do it financially. I want to be a part of this thing, but I can't be a part of it financially, like, because for a lot of listeners, it's ironic. There's some listeners that's the $7, you think it won't help the show, but there's a lot of listeners that $7 is out of reach for them, and I've been in that place too. But I'm here to try to catch you doing something right, as they say, and something fun. If you want to support the show by spreading the word about the podcast, letting one person know about the podcast, just genuinely sharing your honest experience about the podcast, you sharing with one person, whether it's in person or online, can also change the future of the podcast, right? Because 1 out of every 100 people does support the show. So it's like, if you and 99 other people do that, like it's the same. If you do it, 99 other people are likely to do it. But letting people know about the podcasts that are going to benefit from it, you're helping our podcast keep going. You're helping that person, because Sleep With Me is a niche, right? The people that don't know about Sleep With Me that could really use it, they don't know about it yet. And maybe you letting somebody know about it, it changes their life. Or they let somebody else know about it and it changes that person's life. And I don't know if you know how powerful that is, but I think you could pause and feel it right now, right? If you're listening right now, the podcast is probably a big part of your life. And like I said earlier, it's a big part of your heart. And we used to call this a one-person initiative, and we're bringing it back. No more signing up for the referral program. I mean, we'll do stuff where you could sign up, but I'm going to be out there. Tag me at Dear Scooter or email me through the website, message me through our website form. Let me know how you're spreading the word. Do it in a fun, genuine way. Don't spam. Just let people know how you discovered the show. What do you like about the show? What are your favorite things? What silly things have you heard? How has it changed your life or your relationship with sleep? How's it impacted your day? And here's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be looking for people, and I'm going to surprise them. When you surprise me by spreading the word about the show, I have free Sleep With Me Plus memberships from our scholarship program that Cornelia started, and other people that have supported the show for people that aren't in a position to support the show. So I'll be giving out 3-month memberships to Sleep With Me Plus to some people. Maybe I'll send stickers to some people. Maybe I'll send you a personal video thanking you. Maybe other things. Who knows what surprises I have in store. And it'll be fun for everybody. You'll be changing the life of the podcast that you care about. If you do, you don't. If you don't, it does. Like if you don't have to participate in this. But if you do, it's going to be fun. And I'm going to be out there looking, or you could message me through the form on our website. Let me know tell me the story of how you participated, how you spread the word. And again, I can't surprise everybody. I hope I get to surprise one person tomorrow that's doing that. So don't spam, but make sure to tag me. And if you get really active, you might end up like a couple people that were a part of our referral program. Victor got pretty much a lifetime subscription to Sleep With Me Plus because he spread the word so much and so often. And Cornelia's entire scholarship program, she brought thousands and thousands of listeners to the show just by spreading the word in a genuine way where she knew people could use it. So tag me, at Dearest Scooter. That's with a T, DEAREST, Scooter, SCOOTER. Or if you're in the pen and paper world, put up a poster or whatever, a sign in the laundromat and say, hey, if you can't sleep, check out Sleep With Me podcast. Or let me know how you let people know about it in a genuine, friendly way. I can't surprise anybody that's just like going up to random strangers or whatever, but that's not sleepy at all. But thanks so much for listening. And again, those are the two huge ways, because this is like, we've been building towards this, unfortunately. And this has never been a time where more people are no longer in a position to support the show. They've had to stop their support of the podcast. It's a time of, and just like everybody else, the podcast is in this place where it's like, man, this is really tough. But the beauty is we don't need to be in that position where it's like, what's going to happen here? I just got to get through to the people that have been putting it off. So you've been putting off supporting the show? Honestly, don't wait another second. sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Sign up right now. Or if you've been putting off support, I love this Sleep With Me, I'll do it tomorrow. Come up with a plan to do it tomorrow. Spread the word and say, man, I want to be surprised by a scooter. Thanks.